What if your body was trying to warn you, quietly? No flashing lights, no sirens, just subtle hints. And what if those little clues meant your arteries were clogging, and you didn't even know it? For so many people over 60, heart attacks and strokes feel like they come out of nowhere. One day, you're fine. The next, you're in the ER. But the truth is, your body usually gives you plenty of notice. The problem? Those early warnings are easy to miss. They often don't look or feel like anything dramatic. In fact, a lot of the time, they just feel like getting older. But brushing them off could be one of the biggest mistakes of your life. In today's video, we're talking about 5 surprisingly common, but often overlooked, signs that your arteries could be clogging. And we're not just talking about chest pain here. We're diving into those unexpected symptoms that fly under the radar. So stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll feel more confident, more informed, and more empowered to take control of your heart health and your future. Let's get started. Sign number 1, jaw or neck discomfort. Most of us think chest pain when we hear the words clogged arteries. But did you know that one of the first warning signs might actually show up in your jaw or your neck? Sounds strange, right? But it's surprisingly common. That discomfort, especially when it happens during exercise or stress, can be your body's quiet way of waving a red flag. When arteries start narrowing, it affects how blood flows, not just to your heart, but to other parts of your upper body too. That can cause something called referred pain, meaning the pain shows up in your jaw, throat, shoulders, even your back. For some folks, it's a tightness. For others, it's pressure or a dull ache. And because it's not that dramatic, clutch your chest pain we associate with heart trouble, many people write it off. They think, maybe it's just muscle tension, or I probably slept funny, or maybe it's my teeth. Let me tell you about Eleanor. She's 74. Every time she went for her afternoon walk, she felt this strange soreness in her jaw. It would start halfway through and fade once she sat down. She thought she was grinding her teeth in her sleep or maybe just clenching. Her daughter convinced her to get checked out. Turns out, it wasn't her jaw. It was angina. Her heart wasn't getting enough blood, and that tight feeling in her jaw was her body's way of saying something's wrong. Now here's the thing, as we age, we become pros at brushing off discomfort. We've lived through aches and pains. We've toughened up. But subtle doesn't mean safe. Especially when it comes to your heart. So if you're noticing a weird tightness in your neck or jaw, especially when you're active or under stress, don't ignore it. It's not about fear, it's about awareness. You deserve to live your later years feeling strong, steady, and secure. That starts with paying attention. Sign number 2, fatigue during mild activity. Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked up a short flight of stairs, or made your bed, or carried a few grocery bags, and suddenly felt wiped out? If you're over 60, you might think, well, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. But here's the truth, not all fatigue is normal aging. Sometimes, it's your heart whispering that it's not getting enough oxygen. When your arteries are narrowing, your heart has to work much harder to pump blood. That means less oxygen reaches your muscles and brain. So even simple things, like gardening or walking the dog, can feel like a marathon. And it's not just physical tiredness. You might feel mentally foggy. Irritable. You can't concentrate the way you used to. And again, most people chalk it up to age. But it could be something deeper. Let me share Walter's story. He's 72, and every morning, he'd walk to the corner cafe to get coffee. One day, about halfway there, he had to sit down. His legs were heavy, he was winded. He thought maybe he hadn't slept well or was just getting older. But then his daughter noticed something, his lips had a faint bluish tint. Long story short, they went to the doctor, ran some tests, and discovered his arteries were over 80% blocked. They caught it just in time. Now think about that, he almost didn't go. He almost missed the signs. Now, before we go any further, if you're still with me and you're finding this helpful, take a moment to subscribe to this channel and hit that little bell so you don't miss future videos like this. And if you've ever experienced any of these symptoms, drop a comment below and tell me #2fatigue so I know you're here. Like the video, share it with someone you love, and check out our other videos on heart health, longevity, and aging wisely. Your interaction helps us keep creating these powerful, life-saving messages. Sign number 3, erectile difficulties in men. Now, this one doesn't get talked about nearly enough. But it's important. For many men, one of the first signs that something's wrong with their circulation doesn't happen in their chest. It happens in the bedroom. Yep, we're talking about erectile dysfunction. Trouble getting or maintaining an erection can be one of the earliest signs that your arteries are starting to clog. Why? Because the blood vessels in that area are tiny, even smaller than the ones around your heart. So when plaque starts building up, they're the first to feel it. Let's be real, a lot of men over 60 notice a change in their sexual function and think, well, that's just aging. But often, it's not just about hormones or stress. It's about blood flow. Take Raymond, for example. He's 68, active, eats pretty healthy. But things in the bedroom started to change, not drastically, just slower. Less reliable. He was embarrassed. He didn't tell his doctor. Months later, he started feeling tightness in his chest after walking upstairs. That finally got him into the clinic. Sure enough, he had multiple blockages. All those months, his body had been sending a signal. He just didn't realize it. And here's the deeper truth, for a lot of men, changes in sexual health feel personal. They tie into confidence, identity, even relationships. So when something's off, they stay quiet. But silence doesn't protect you from heart disease. If this is something you've noticed, don't be ashamed. Don't delay. See it as your chance to get ahead of a much bigger issue. Vitality, confidence, and a longer life. That's what's really at stake when we talk about heart health. It's not just about intimacy, it's about protecting the life you still have ahead of you. And sometimes, the most personal symptoms are the ones trying hardest to get your attention. Your body tells the truth. The question is, are you listening? Sign number 4, memory fog or mental slowness. Have you been forgetting names more often? Losing your train of thought mid-sentence? Or maybe you walk into a room and forget why you went there. You might think, that's just aging. But what if that foggy feeling wasn't just age creeping in, but your brain telling you it's not getting enough blood? Here's the reality, after 60, poor circulation becomes one of the most common, yet overlooked, causes of cognitive decline. Your brain might only weigh 2% of your body, but it uses about 20% of your oxygen and energy. That energy is delivered through your arteries. So, when those arteries get stiff or narrowed from plaque buildup, your brain starts getting less fuel. And the effects aren't always dramatic. We're not talking about a stroke or something you'd notice right away. It often starts with subtle signs. Forgetting names. Struggling to focus. Feeling mentally off or slower than usual. Let me tell you about Carol. She's 72 and had always been sharp as a tack. But over the last year, she started missing appointments, mixing up dates, and rereading the same pages in books without remembering a thing. Friends told her, "You're just getting older." But she knew something wasn't right. She finally went to the doctor, and sure enough, she had high blood pressure and early narrowing in her carotid arteries. That's the main highway of blood to the brain. Once she started addressing her circulation, with diet, exercise, and medication, her focus and memory began to improve. There's also the emotional toll. Struggling with memory can stir up fear of dementia, of losing independence, of becoming a burden. But knowing that poor circulation is part of the picture, That gives you options. That gives you hope. So if your mind's been foggy lately, don't just chalk it up to getting older. Ask yourself, is this really aging? Or is it your body trying to send a message? The good news? When blood flow improves, so does brain function. And if you're still watching, drop a number 4 in the comments to let me know you're with me. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time. Hit that button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video that could protect your future. Sign number 5, sexual changes in both men and women. Now earlier we talked about erectile issues in men. But this goes deeper than that. Changes in sexual function, whether it's reduced performance in men or things like dryness, discomfort, or lowered sensation in women, can all be tied to poor circulation. And after 60, those small arteries are often the first to suffer. It's easy to assume it's just a normal part of aging or low hormones. But many times, the root issue is restricted blood flow. And the reason that matters is because those tiny vessels are often the first ones impacted when plaque starts to build. Let's take Frank as an example. He's 69, retired engineer, always active. But over time, he noticed a gradual drop in performance and desire. Nothing sudden, just not what it used to be. He figured it was age. Then a buddy mentioned how his heart scan revealed narrowing arteries after dealing with similar issues. That got Frank thinking, so he got checked. Turns out, he had significant arterial blockages in his lower body and around the heart. Thankfully, it was caught early enough for treatment to work. And with the right lifestyle changes, not only did his circulation improve, but so did his energy and confidence. For many older men, when things change in the bedroom, it hits more than just physical function, it affects confidence, self-esteem, even mental health. And because it's a sensitive topic, it often goes unspoken. But here's the shift: instead of thinking, I'm just getting old, start asking, is this my body trying to warn me? And women, this matters for you too. Reduced sensation, dryness, lack of interest, these can also signal decreased blood flow. They're not just hormonal. They're physical signs your circulation may be declining. So whatever you're noticing, don't ignore it. Don't feel ashamed. Feel empowered. It's your body giving you an early chance to act. Final thoughts. Let's bring it all together. Clogged arteries don't always come with dramatic warning signs. Most of the time, the body whispers before it ever screams. That means it's our job to listen closely. Here are the 5 whispers we talked about. 1. Jaw or neck discomfort. 2. Fatigue during mild activity. 3. Erectile changes. 4. Memory fog or mental slowness. 5. Sexual function changes in both men and women. None of these are meant to scare you. They're meant to empower you. Because too often, we tell ourselves, it's just part of aging. But many of these signs are not inevitable. Poor circulation is treatable. In many cases, reversible. And it starts with awareness. Take a moment to reflect. How many people do you know who had no idea something was wrong, until it was too late? A heart attack. A stroke. No warning, or so it seemed. But there were signs. They were just overlooked. And maybe, just maybe, you're seeing one of those signs in yourself. That doesn't mean it's too late. It means now is the time to act. Start by tuning into your body with fresh awareness. Talk to your doctor. Ask questions. Get screened. The earlier you catch these things, the more options you have. Because you deserve to live these next years with energy, purpose, clarity, and joy, not fear. So stay curious. Stay proactive. And most of all, stay hopeful. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below with one thing you learned and how you'll use it in your life. Your stories and feedback inspire this community more than you know. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you care about. It might just change a life. We'll see you in the next one.